Hello everyone, I am so excited to finally be able to say welcome back to the Vanishing Hour. It has definitely been longer than I had anticipated nor desired, but we are here and we are definitely excited to be moving forward with more episodes. Being that the time gap between the last episode and now is so vast, I am comfortable with starting this update by saying we are beginning season 2 of the Vanishing Hour. Also, sidebar, sorry in advance for any background noises, sounds, computer sounds, or heavy breathing on my end. I am not on my usual setup. I'm actually on my 10-year-old setup because it's the only room in the house that has a shred of privacy. We have Shadow working from home now, and since we share like an office space, I have to go somewhere else so that I am not interrupting his work because that comes first. So I have found myself in our 10-year-old's lair with no ventilation and I'm sweating my ass off. But we are here. We adapt. But I'm just giving you a heads up. The sound quality for probably the entire season, unless something drastically changes, will be taking a kick to the groin. So apologies in advance for that. However, I am thrilled for some of the cases I have in mind this season. Definitely will continue with more lesser known cases that deserve more attention or deserving of a discussion. But I also want to cover a few more of the quote unquote well-known unsolved cases floating around out there. Initially, I was kind of trying to steer clear of these just because I feel like they have been talked about and discussed and it just doesn't seem like there'd be anything new brought to the table regarding them. However, I think one of the main goals when starting this podcast was to give my opinion on cases, and I feel it's important to do that with any case, not just the ones that I feel people haven't heard of or at least aren't covered nearly as often. In the end, people, are all victims who deserve to be discussed, found, remembered, etc., etc. So that and their loved ones. So that's what I'm going to try to do more of this season as well. I also want to cover some more cases that may be considered closed, but aren't really, if we're being honest with each other, whether it's my own opinion or it's like the general population's opinion. I do want to cover more cases that are kind of in that realm as well. Also, the Vanishing Hour turned 1 in May. I was having all sorts of feelings about this. I was excited, but I also felt like I shouldn't be because I was on a hiatus and, wasn't even recording anything at the time. But you know what? Fuck it. This podcast turned 1, and we will celebrate this by having an anniversary episode, which I've come to the conclusion will be the first and second episodes of this season, which is essentially one whole episode, but it's a two-parter. I hinted about this episode a few months back on social media for those of you who do follow on there. But I've already started research on it and then stopped and then started again. It's pretty much finished at this point. It's been, like 6 months in the making, and really just because of school and then laziness and procrastination. But I'm glad I put it off because that gave me pretty much the last week to research on it, and I found a whole hell of a lot more of information, which turned it into a two-parter. So stay tuned for that episode, which should be coming out here, at least part 1, very, very, very soon. In the meantime, that's all I got for you guys at the moment. Stay tuned for the season. There's plenty more to come. Slightly shitty audio, but still more to come.